Alright, today I'm going to be going through how to use pointers in calling functions from different class. So I have made a class for the main and I've named them burrito. We and how to create a class? You simply go to new and go to class. And I won't be going over that since that's pretty simple. Okay, now the first thing we do in our class burrito CPP and main CPP is we want to copy and paste um, include IOStream into the burrito.cpp. So this and the main look all the same. So the idea is to simply to make them look the same, the first three lines, to make them include the same stuff. And the next thing we want to do is to create a function inside the CPP. And we do that by creating void. Um, and we give this function a name, like print stuff. And then we make it do something, like see out something stupid, like printing out, hey there, how are you? You know, end the line. And as you can see, how is this line different to the other lines like we will see in May? Well, this line has the double colon, and before the double colon, we have called the class. So we stated the class that this function is created in. It's under burrito.cpp. If we don't include this function wouldn't work. And the next thing we want to do is we go to burrito.h and we make this function public. And this is called prototyping. Well, prototyping something is basically mentioning it under public, protected, or private. I haven't learned how these work, but I'm assuming that these are the files that that are open to everyone. So how to prototype? We just simply mention the function. So you type the function type, which is void, and you type the name. So void print stuff, brackets. Okay. And then finally go to our main. This is where we call the functions from the created class. Now the first thing you want to do when calling a function from classes is to name the class that the function belongs to. Burrito. So the first thing you're gonna type is burrito. And since you're calling from a class, you want to create an object. And this object will call the function from the class. So now we just name an object. So we name burrito object. And we have learned when calling stuff from an object, we create it first, and then when we are actually calling the function, we use a dot to separate the object from the function. So then we type the name of the function, which is print stuff, and bracket. That is it. Let's run and see if this works. Hi there, how are you? That's working good. Next, I'm gonna introduce a different way to call the function using pointers. Pointers we have learned is just something that points to the memory address of anything, of a variable, of anything. But to simply put it, it's another way to call a function. And you may not know why, but we'll learn in our future sessions. So to create a pointer, you type the asterisk, and then you give the pointer a name. Before anything else, you need to state the class that it's coming from. So you give it a name like burrito pointer equals the memory address of the burrito object you have created. Okay. And when you're using a pointer, you don't you don't you don't you can't just create a pointer without anything else. You're actually using the object you have created, and then you create a pointer using the memory address of the object. But when you're calling the pointer, you just simply do burrito pointer. And since this is a pointer, it's gonna be a different. The thing that separates the pointer from the function is gonna not. It's not gonna be a dot. It's not gonna be a dot. It's gonna be an arrow, which looks very much like a pointer. Print stuff, and then you call the same function from the same class. And now what we should see on the screen is two of the same lines printed out. Hi there, how are you? Okay. Well, things to take away from this is number one, burrito.cpp and main CPP. They should all look the same. So you just simply copy and paste the first three lines, like all the presets you need. You want them to look the same. And then after you have created a function inside your .cpp, you prototype this function in your .h. So all these classes know what's going on. And after you have done that, you can call the functions from these classes in your main. And before you call the function, you just have to name the class. And there are two ways you can do this. One through object, burrito object, for example. Um, you just call in the class first, and then you create an object. And with this object, you can separate this from the function. So it's a bit complicated. You have to, call the class first, and then the object, and then the actual function. And another way to do it is to call the object first, and then make a pointer that points to the memory address of the object. And then you don't use the object, you use the pointer instead, and points using this to the function. So it's a bit complicated, and I still don't get like what it is and how to actually use it, but that's our video for today. Thank you.